you ever scrolled through TikTok or Instagram and thought, how is everyone affording this? Luxury bags, designer sneakers, weekly brunches, European summer trips, fancy cars. Meanwhile, you're like refreshing your bank account, hoping that your direct deposit hits. And it's not just you. A lot of what we see is fake rich. And today we're breaking down why everyone seems to have more money than you and why that perception is a lie. So, what is fake rich? Fake rich looks like wealth, but it isn't. So, when people present this expensive, luxurious lifestyle but don't have the assets to back it up, they have the look, the cars, the handbags, the expensive vacations, the clothes, but not the financial foundation. So a good example is someone dropping $10,000 on a Chanel bag, but don't even have $500 in their emergency fund. Or maybe someone who drives a BMW, but they rent a room. They have nothing in retirement, and they have $15,000 of credit card debt. It's almost like wealth cosplay, and it's everywhere, especially online. And it's the social media illusion. Let's be honest, we all know that social media is a highlight reel. Nobody's posting their overdraft notice or their student loan payments. So what you're seeing is like brand new apartments. Maybe you've seen those $10,000, $8,000 New York luxury apartment videos. Maybe you're seeing the $10 lattes, the designer bags, or people are posting their Paris trip. But what you don't see is the credit cards that's funding all of these things. Or maybe the financial help that people get from their parents, or max out buy now pay later apps like Klarna and Afterpay. You definitely don't see when people have nothing in retirement. Comparison is killing your confidence, but it's because you're comparing your real life to a curated image online. And that is the hidden enabler. You might have seen those videos about how South Korea has some of the highest credit card debts in the world. And when they're doing these interviews and asking Koreans why they think that is, a lot of them say it's because it's very important to keep up a certain image. It's very important to have the latest designer bags, the latest designer clothes. So a big reason that people seem rich is because they're leveraging debt. Buy now, pay later makes a $300 pair of shoes seem affordable. Credit cards allow people to spend money that they don't have. And it's really gotten out of hand, especially recently. I've been seeing videos where you can buy a pizza now and pay later, and you can split your pizza payment into 4 payments, which is just kind of insane to me. But that is where we are with buy now, pay later. Car leases allow people to drive luxury cars without actually owning anything. So for example, maybe you see your friend drive a very nice, expensive BMW and you're like, oh my gosh, they're probably so rich. What you don't know is that they're actually leasing it for $1,000 a month. And more importantly, you don't know what their net worth is. What if their net worth is actually in the negative? That's not true wealth. That's actually just a financial trap. It just happens to have nice leather seats as well. The next one is the silent advantage, which is help from parents. A lot of young people flexing on social media are getting help from family. Maybe their family pays their rent. Or maybe their family allows them to live in their house for free. Maybe they have trust funds or inheritance. So you might see people who are like, well, I don't make that much, but my parents cover a lot of my fixed costs. And this is not judgment, it's just context. Because I'm actually guilty of this too. My mom still pays my phone bill. And I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of people screaming on social media that I'm like way too old and my parents should not be paying my phone bill, etc. I don't care. I don't want to pay my own phone bill. And they can be mad about it if they want. But for example, if you don't pay your own phone bill and maybe you like my phone, maybe you're like, oh, that's a nice phone. It's not, my phone is old. But let's say you were comparing yourself to me, you're like, oh, it's such a nice phone. My mom pays my phone bill. So if you're building everything from scratch, it's unfair to compare yourself to somebody who is already like ahead. The truth is, real wealth is really boring. If you read the book The Millionaire Next Door, they found that the majority of millionaires actually have basic normal jobs and they drive Toyotas and they don't live this like fancy luxurious life, and a lot of them are actually older because it takes time to build wealth. So a lot of the times all the millionaires in the world are not necessarily flexing this lifestyle on social media. They're really normal, boring people who drive Toyotas, and that's because real wealth isn't always visible. Maybe it looks like a paid off Honda. and having a 6-month emergency fund in your high yield savings account. No one's gonna know that. Maybe you invest consistently, maybe you take advantage of your 401k consistently and you max out your Roth IRA every year. Again, that's not visible. No one's gonna see that. Or maybe you're choosing a smaller apartment so that you can save and invest the rest, or choosing not to upgrade your lifestyle so that every time you get a raise, every time you get a bonus, instead of blowing it all on something nice and new and fancy, you're actually silently saving and investing it. It's not going to be visible to everyone, but you are building your wealth silently. And it's not going to make you go viral, but it's going to give you freedom. The person eating homemade pasta at night might get to retire 10 years earlier than the person who's flexing the truffle pasta on their Instagram story. So what can you do instead if you are feeling behind? Track your net worth. That's your real financial indicator. It's going to give you your true financial score. And set your definition of wealth. For some people, that is freedom, and for others, it's security. Maybe you just want to be able to travel 4 times a year while maxing out your retirement accounts, and that's all you want. Build habits, not just purchases. Your money management is more important than your money image. Don't copy broke people online. There are so many people who are like trying to fake this rich, luxurious lifestyle to sell you a course. And that's the biggest indicator that it's basically a scam. Like if they're trying to sell you something, most of the time it's a scam. So don't copy those people because a lot of it is fake. They might be renting out boats to pretend like they own this boat and they don't. Be proud of living within your means. It's actually rare and it's very powerful. Something else to consider is when you compare yourself, if you love to compare, we always compare ourselves to people who are doing better, who are well off, who are doing better than we are. Maybe they have a better job, maybe they have a better car, maybe you feel like they are traveling more than you are, maybe you're feeling jealous or envious of them, but you never compare yourself to people who are worse off. If you think about it and think about all of the things that you have in your life and think about all of the people who would actually love to be in your position, people who were just born in countries that didn't have the resources to be where you are right now. And I go back to the example of comparing yourself to someone who has help from their family. It's very similar. Like someone who was born in a country that's worse off, if they were to compare their life to yours, it's like very much similar. So sometimes it's important to kind of think about what you have and be grateful for what you have instead of constantly chasing the next thing. Because honestly, as soon as you get it, you're going to adapt almost immediately and then you're going to find the next big thing. So sometimes it's important to kind of take a look at your own life and just be grateful for what you do have currently, even if you are trying to get to the next thing. The truth is, you're probably doing better than you think. You're choosing the long game, and you're not living to impress people who wouldn't lend you $20 in a crisis. So the next time you're wondering how everyone has so much money, just remember, a lot of people look rich, but few are actually rich. And you're focused on building true wealth and wealth that lasts. Drop a comment below if this video helped you shift your mindset. Like and subscribe for more real talk about money, success, and personal improvement. I'll see you next time. Bye!